It's a rainy Saturday. I have a bain-marie on the stove of Mimosa hot enfleurage going. But I've decided to also give a go with some fresh mimosa. The Mimosa Absolute that I made from Blanc de Blanc and Pinot Meunier Absolute, going and smell them next to some champagne. I got some Paul Roger, which is pretty easy to get almost anywhere. But I decided to smell these things against this wine today simply for the aromatic notes, and it's been a while since I've had this particular champagne. So first I'm going to compare it with actual mimosa, my mimosa extractions, and see how that is smelling. And then I'm going to remove the mimosa and smell this champagne for other flowers. It said that there's some white flowers and there's some honeysuckle notes, so I'm really going for that to see how that expresses in the glass. This particular champagne is 30, like a third of each varietal, so Champagne, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier, from a lot of different crus throughout the Champagne region. But Paul Roger is always like really great sort of option. So I'm gonna go ahead and smell this. Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, I have been smelling mimosa flowers all day, so that's gonna impact my perception here. First of all, beautiful. I mean, God bless Champagne. But of course, with the mimosa nearby, naturally I'm gonna get more of the mimosa notes in the champagne. But I've got to tell you something kind of crazy. My entire perception of the aroma of champagne has changed just through working on the perfume Sweetest Assassin, and also just through some of these mimosa extractions that I've done. Because when I smell this, I'm getting the mimosa flower, but I'm getting some of that brioche, that cream brioche that we so love that's in a champagne glass. Oh. Also, by the way, always when smelling in a glass, make sure you've, if not polished it, made sure there's no debris or leftover dishwashing things. There's stuff like that can actually change your perception of a wine, and you don't want any of that, those extra smells around when you're trying to smell things for pairing, right? That's why you don't wear artificial fragrance to wine tastings. Wow, this is amazing. I've also over time going to do a bunch of comparisons. Of course, strawberries are a great champagne pairing, but unless you are working with a rosé champagne, and by rosé I mean, kind of interesting point, the first rosé was actually made by Madame, or Veuve Clicquot herself years ago. She was the innovator of hand riddling as well as rosé champagne, so we do have her to thank for that, and God bless her. But often strawberries aren't necessarily a note unless it's a rosé that you're going to get in champagne, but that doesn't mean I can't use a fermentation of strawberries in Sweetest Assassin if I think that it's going to represent what I'm going for the most. Beautiful. Next, and I'm really excited to do this, I'm going to, when the fermentations are ready, I'm going to pull some of the fruits I've fermented in anticipation to perhaps blend for Sweetest Assassin, but they do need some time before I can go into that blending stage to make the perfume. So it'll be very interesting to compare them next to some aromas or some aromatic champagnes. Well, all champagnes are aromatic, but some champagnes whose aromatics I loved, and see how they stack up. I'm really looking forward to that. And again, if you guys haven't been following my Sweetest Assassin project, Sweetest Assassin was the nickname of champagne back in the early heydays of champagne. And it's because people didn't know how long they were going to live. You know, when people got sick, there was not a lot of recourse, right? And then there was this comet in the sky, and people thought, like, I don't know how long I'm going to make it. So they would drink champagne until the sun came up. And so they called it the Sweetest Assassin. Anyway, cheers. I'll be sharing a little bit of my process with you as I make this perfume, or try to make this perfume, hoping that I do it in a way that can respect the practices within champagne, which are all based in soil, based in terroir, based in handmade practices, and of course a mastery of fermentation. Cheers.